What's up, everybody? We are back here at the KSL. We're going to go to our second best of 5 for the night, a PvP Rain versus Stork.
Yeah, this should be a good one, I think.
I think
closer
so.
than the last one.
I think so,
Probably.
yeah.
I'd be surprised if there's a 3-0.
I'm going to be really sad if there's a 3-0. Out of all the matchups we have, never mind the players, just PvP generally allows for just a closer series in a best of 5, but my only concern is that Stork tries some cheeky stuff and Rain is just so solid he shuts it down.
But Stork is normally considered pretty solid, right? He's a solid PvP player, so I feel like neither should be able to do that too much. Thinking about the actual games, I mean, they have vetoes, right? So cross game should be vetoed, and that would be the one map that would be really bad. Maybe Medusa could be a little bit crazy too. But
yeah, Medusa can be pretty weird for Protoss versus Protoss.
I would say so.
Just starting out on low ground like that with a big open area, and then the natural also is an open area.
Yeah.
Medusa can be a map where you're kind of both forced to power up on one base, and then it gets kind of weird from there.
Yeah. I think cross game would be very much like Gladiator or something like that. So, as far as the other maps, those are much more normal. And oh wait, actually, Eddie is basically Gladiator. So yeah, I guess
same
no
problems
matter what,
that Gladiator has.
We should be seeing at least one map that's going to be a little bit weird, and then maybe some other normal maps.
That's right. Rain right now is basically the best Protoss that there is in Starcraft. I mean, we've seen both Mini and Snow look fantastic, but Rain overall has been more consistent. He's brought better results.
Yeah.
When he's on, he looks untouchable. Stork is somebody, unlike Jaedong, unlike Flash, unlike a lot of these great players from a decade ago, he hasn't delivered the way that these other players have. And so we're kind of hoping, we've got our fingers crossed that maybe he's going to be able to do it this time around. Anyways, let's go to a quick interview with our two players.
제가 지금까지 다 4강에서 떨어져서 이번 세 번째는 꼭 더 잘해야겠다 생각하고 임하고 있습니다. 근데 사실 지난 시즌에 4강에서 졌을 때 3대0으로 지고 있다가 3대3까지 쫓아가긴 했었는데 그때 제가 좀 실력적으로 졌다고 생각을 항상 하고 있어가지고 뭐 아쉽거나 그런 건 없고 다시 만나면 또 자신 있기 때문에 이번 시즌에 꼭 보여드리고 싶어요. 우선 팬분들도 좀 약간 아쉬워하실 것 같은데 일단 그래도 4강까지는 올라간다는 게 아직 그래도 기본적으로 좀 제가 실력이 있다고 생각을 해가지고 올라가는 거라서 거기서 제가 또 이제 준비만 잘 한다면 충분히 또 결승까지 진출할 수 있다고 생각해서 이번 시즌은 꼭 그 틀을 깨고 싶어요. 근데 아무래도 제가 좀 약간 뭐 게임 내적으로는 좀 뭐 특출나게 이런 건 없지만 그냥 균형이 잡힌 것 같아요. 플레이 자체가. 그게 제 장점 같아요. 일단 시즌 1, 2 다 제가 4강에서 졌기 때문에 이번에는 꼭 그 한계를 뚫고 꼭 결승까지 진출해서 우승할 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
안녕하세요. 이번에 아빠가 된 송병구입니다. 생각보다 좀 수월하게 예선을 뚫어서 좀 다행이었다고 생각이 들고 수월하게 뚫은 만큼 약간 본선에서 좋은 성적을 낼 수 있겠다는 생각이 들어서 너무 좋았습니다. 일단 저는 당연히 예선을 올라와야 된다는 생각을 했고 다른 선수들도 다 이제 한 가닥씩 했던 선수들이기 때문에 이렇게 예선을 다 뚫고 올라온 것 같아요. 과거는 과거고 이번 시즌에 이제 임하는 각오들은 다들 우승일 텐데 그 중에서 제일 잘해야 되겠다는 생각이 드네요. 일단 선수 경력이 제일 길기 때문에 단판에서는 모르겠지만 KSL은 이제 무조건 다전제로 치러지기 때문에 다전제에 아직 미흡한 선수들도 많을 거고 제가 이제 다전제에서 만나면 은근 상대방 입장에서 부담감을 느끼는 선수라고 생각을 하거든요. 그래서 KSL이 약간 경력으로 인해서 좀 신인 선수들을 만나면 제가 유리한 점이 있는 것 같아요. 제가 이제 스타2를 이제 그만두고 스타1으로 다시 복귀해서 최고 커리어가 8강이고 그 외에는 이제 16강이 전부였어요. 24강에서 탈락한 적도 있고 그래서 좋은 성적을 내본 적이 없는데 이번 KSL에서 진짜 도끼 품고 열심히 해가지고 8강 이상의 좋은 성적을 거두어 볼 수 있도록 최선을 다하겠습니다.
You know what I find really interesting about these two players is like Stork. If you give Stork a beard, he basically looks like you.
He is a very handsome fellow, man.
Whereas me and Rain just already pretty much look alike without our beards.
Oh, man, this is going to be a good PvP, Artosis. I'm excited. I hope this isn't one-sided. We've just had such short days here at KSL, considering the potential amount of Starcraft we can get in a night. This should be a lot of fun. Now, again, this is really the old school versus the new school. Rain, one of the best players in StarCraft 2, who then retired from that game to come back here in StarCraft 1. Stork, of course, had a presence in StarCraft 2, not just as a player, but as a coach as well. And he's here to try to prove himself. Now, if you look at the overarching history of these two, Stork definitely a more accomplished StarCraft 1 player. The problem is that was years and years and years and years and years ago.
Yeah, it really was a long time ago. And as you said, he's a recent father as well. So, you know, you put all this together, you're getting older, you're getting kids and stuff.
Yeah.
It can be hard to keep up with the young guns like Rain. Rain, I mean, he's so talented, and it feels like he's not even hit his prime yet, maybe even.
It seems like he's got so much potential still to unlock. And he's a player who he's not going to have to worry about his military service coming up anytime soon. He just gets to continue to move through.
He actually doesn't have to do the military.
Exactly, yeah. So we're going to see.
I know that's what you meant.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, that just worth it out. You're like, in fact, Tasis, he doesn't have to worry about that. I'm like, yes. Yes. The question, though, is, you know, can Stork come back? He's a veteran. He's much older. But when you look at his games, as good of a player as he is, he doesn't seem to have the same kind of oomph that he had before. He doesn't seem to at least tear down a lot of these Titans that are just so on top nowadays.
Not as of yet. I definitely get to see him practice a decent amount on his stream on Freak and everything. And
yeah.
He does play some of these smaller tournaments like KCM and whatnot, and he shows some very great performances from time to time. Things go wrong occasionally as well. Definitely in the qualifier for this, he put out some magnificent games that I got to cast. So I think he's looking prime to maybe, you know, have one of these deep runs. Like he said, he hasn't had anything good really happen for him yet in StarCraft 1 since he returned.
Yeah, he's had a presence in tournaments, but he certainly hasn't had any major victories.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, too, when you're one of the best players of all time historically, and you're good enough to get into the top 32, top 24, top 16 in tournaments. Of course, that's no small feat. I mean, these are let's say, the 16 best players in the world. But when you can't get past that, that can be annoying, especially when you had all these heydays of glory where you were winning everything. We're still waiting and hoping. We've got our fingers crossed that maybe Stork can pull it off. But the problem with this group is that everybody is either the best right now or was the best in years past. And right now it does seem pretty clear, seem pretty trendy that, not trendy, it's been happening constantly that the current players that are dominating are continuing to dominate. We don't have back and forth. We saw Jaedong get smashed by Last, and I thought Jaedong looked pretty good, but not good enough to win a single game. Could that happen here against Rain? Because Rain is consistently looking to be the best modern Protoss that we have.
So to put this in perspective, last year, 2018, the best two players in the world last year, results-wise, in tournaments, were Last and Rain, both in this group. Yeah. And, I mean, Jaedong had some good results, but no, those two were head and shoulders above everyone. Flash hasn't been playing that many tournaments lately. Jaedong only made one finals. Sulky only made one finals, right? So these other players that you kind of think of, not quite as strong. But, yeah, you look at this group, I think that you should expect for those new guns, the Last and the Rain, to make it out because
they are the favorites here.
Yeah, they really are. I would love to see the upset, though.
It would be cool.
As far as I'm concerned, everyone who ever installs this game for the rest of the time can lose to Stork and Jaedong, okay? That's
dude,
80 years old.
If Stork can win here, that's really exciting. It's just hard to imagine. I mean, best of fives, the better player basically always comes out on top. I just don't see Stork pulling it off. I see him taking games off of Rain, but I don't know, man. It's tough to imagine. 3 wins against Rain.
He prepares series well, like he said. You know, he's got a lot of experience in that. And we'll see if he is prepared enough for Rain. But Rain's a very smart player. He's one of these guys that kind of just has 10s in all the categories, except for putting a Dragoon in his Wallen against Sharp.
Yeah.
Well, that's like why he wasn't undisputably the best player last year. Is literally Sharp screwed him up a couple times in tournaments, and it was like
Sharp tripped him up a little bit, and it was enough to get that win there. But I like the way that you're describing Rain as a player that kind of has 10s and everything. It's easier and it's more fun to try to describe a player as, one of these superheroes where you can name all their strengths, but there's always some kind of a weakness, some kind of a defect, some kind of an Achilles heel, really, in their play style. But I don't really see that with Rain. I also don't see that with Sulky. Other than occasionally Sulky opens up with something that we can't understand and it doesn't work, and he seems to say, that's what I had planned out. But with Rain, frankly, out of everybody, last two, really, but I think especially with Rain, he doesn't seem to have any major flaws.
I think it's true. I think it's like Sulky, Rain, and Last are all kind of like that right now.
Yeah.
Where they all are as close to flawless as you can get for these new guns, where it's like, there's not a real weakness to attack here.
No.
Maybe Sulky has had the worst results overall because ZVZ can be a bit unforgiving. If you just open with the wrong build order, you're much more likely to lose than if, there's a slight wrong build order.
It is the problem with playing that
matchups.
race is that the volatility and the unforgivability of ZVZ, which oftentimes can be lost because you lost one Zergling or one drone.
Yeah.
It's that tough of a matchup, that unforgiving. I think we're finally ready to go into our match. Game 1, Rain versus Stork.
Okay, let's do it. I was holding that cough for 100 years.
I know. Any moment, any minute now. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Our audience looks like cutouts.
Maybe they
We've got all the MST3K robots here. Okay.
Casting today.
Okay, so we've got Rain in the bottom right. We've got Stork in the upper left. Let's go.
Yeah. So, this map is, a two-player map, obviously, but you have the high ground ramp. Is there anything in particular that we should be watching for, build order-wise?
No, I think we're probably going to have, unless somebody goes for 2-gate or something weird, I think we're going to have them open up with either one Zealot or immediately go into a Dragoon. You don't need to scout right away on this map. Nobody's making a pylon proxied or anything weird, so this is looking pretty standard. What we really want to watch for is if there's going to be any tech deviation from away from the Robo. PvP is a matchup that it has its limitations in that there's certain techs that have to either you're forced to make or you're forced to respect as far as your opponent's side. But some people use the term rock, paper, scissors, which I think is slightly unfair for how the matchup works, because if it really was rock, paper, scissors, we'd always see this build beat the other build, which is oftentimes not the case. But there's certain things that are going on in the matchup that you need to watch out for. And it kind of comes down to, are you going to go for Dark Templar tech? Are you going to go for Robo tech? Is there going to be some type of expand here? The most standard route in a PvP is to go for a Robo and go for Dragoon Reaver or to go for Dragoon Observer. There's always going to be an Observer inevitably in there, but sometimes you could skip the Reaver. And then it's a question of, is there going to be a push or an expand?
A push or an expand.
And sometimes it's one guy expanding, the other guy pushing. Sometimes you have both of them pushing against each other. Other times they both ended up hoping the other guy was going to be the aggressor, and they've expanded, and it becomes a pretty passive game that picks up a couple minutes later on.
Here's a question for you. Is it more likely to see a big effort to get offensive pylons on a two-player map because you know where they are?
It depends entirely on the placement of the minerals. Like, if you look at this patch over here, that lower left nook, that's a really nice location to try to get. But right now, it doesn't seem... It also depends, by the way, on whether or not you think there's going to be a Zealot coming out right away. If you get one Zealot out, like we see Rain did this time around, it makes it not as worthwhile to go for that pylon. But if you can get in there right away and you detect that they're skipping the Zealot, then you can really pull off something quite annoying.
Doesn't seem as if either player is up for it right now. Both getting range, only the single Zealot here for Rain.
And it looks like Stork actually went for a little bit of an older approach and skipped the initial Zealot, which isn't wrong, especially if you don't get Manor Pylon early on.
With how late his scout was, that feels a little bit greedy, because he scouted quite a bit later than Rain.
Stork scouted a bit later than Rain?
Quite a bit, yeah. Rain was almost to his ramp when Stork left his base.
Right. Well, that's because he wants to get as much out as quickly as possible there. But he gets in there and basically gets a rough idea that there's nothing crazy. Now, the fact that Rain hid that probe in the main is such a huge deal. Because getting that scout in PvP and confirming whatever tech they're going for, that's like, this is why hacking specifically in PvP is so strong. Is you just look at what they're doing and you play around whatever their tech choice is. Now, I think the probe has not seen the Robo yet. It will now. Now, let's watch and see if Stork decides to cancel that.
Gosh, such an expensive building to cancel. Seems like you won't. You'll just keep that Robo as is at the moment. There's a little bit of a scouting pylon over at that third base location as well.
Now, when you see the Robo made immediately, you can usually, as the other Protoss, try to take a Nexus pretty fast. It's going to take a while for a shuttle and a Reaver to get out and come try to hit you on the map. So I think this is a smart response here from Rain. And, you know, from here, we just got to kind of see what kind of game he's going to be delivering.
Now, as Stork, you have this scouted. You don't actually know what your opponent is doing, but you know that they can take that Nexus. What is your plan of action?
You're asking me as Stork here?
Yes.
Well,
because it feels like just by virtue of getting that scouted that he's a bit behind.
Yeah, if Rain expands, and Rain did expand, what he's going to have to do is play the defensive game. And usually if you see Robo on one gate, that's what you're kind of going for. You're going to have detection. You're going to have Reavers not to try to attack into them, but to just try to hold off anything they might have that they want to throw at you. And that's basically the game plan there. And it looks like he's going to be able to kill this Zealot off before it can run into the main. But basically, Stork is playing a more straight-up game. And this is one of the more popular builds, especially if you're trying to learn StarCraft. This build specifically that Stork's doing is good. What Rain did is skipped Robo, and he got his Nexus up more quickly, and he's got 3 gateways. And so he's playing blind, which is incredibly uncomfortable, but he has more muscle. Now, later on, if Stork decides to come out with Robo speed and move across the map, it's going to be problematic. But if Stork decides to push too early, Rain will just overwhelm him with Dragoons very easily.
It seems like Rain is just going to get a massive supply lead here very quickly now that he has the 3 gateways up. But Stork with that tech, you know, it seems like both positions are at least playable.
Yeah, there's definitely not one is better than the other. I think Rain's is probably technically more difficult to competently pull off because you have to really have a good read on when they could move out and what they're going to do. But it's very easy for Stork because he's also in the dark here. Even though he has a Robo, he can spot units. Now, here's where the problem can come in. Is the Reaver down the ramp. As those, I think, I was going to say, those look like the Reaver lips we saw at the top of the screen. The Reaver's mustache or whatever that is.
The Reaver's mustache,
yeah. So you can see that it's hard to run him over. No corners were cut here with Stork, so he did get the 1 Reaver out. You want to get a 2nd Reaver before you get a shuttle out. And when Rain goes in there and sees a Reaver, he can say, okay, Stork's being honest this game. He's not doing anything crazy. He's not going to try to DT rush. You can kind of put that pressure on, and if you end up running over them, it means they were going to try to go into some weird DT play off of that. But this time around, as long as Stork defends, he can still compete.
Yeah.
And he's going to have Reavers, which have a lot more utility later on. We're going to have to see if Rain actually gets Reavers of his own, or if he just decides to go into mass gateways.
Yeah, I wonder about that. You know, obviously Reavers are very good, but I always like the styles that we see occasionally where you go into Psystorm to counter them reasonably quickly and just get a lot of speed lots.
I think more importantly even than Psystorm is the bridges on this map, the ones that Stork was moving towards. You can't get across that with an army.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the one that Rain is poking out. Did he just... Okay, I thought For a second in my ears, I thought I heard a Reaver dying or something. I thought that he sniped something.
No.
Now, he's going to control the lower part of that bridge. And that's going to make it hard unless Stork wants to try to fly across the map with Harass. In which case, you could see already Rain has some Dragoons of his own there. But instead, Rain's going to do a tech from behind. Rain, by the way, has slightly more momentum economically because he got his base up a little bit more quickly.
He does have a shuttle out, so
Yeah.
I guess the Reaver, he does have a single Reaver so far. Stork has taken a position on the high ground near his third base location and is now adding some more gates. Now, what about these third base timings? Like, is Stork going to take one reasonably soon? It doesn't feel like he can really attack despite having a couple Reavers.
Yeah, it's tough, right? If you go for Reaver versus Reaver with Dragoons fighting, a lot of it comes down to position. It appears that Stork wants to go for that, or at least he wants to go for a contain. Now, sometimes if you both have two bases, it's better for one player to try to contain the other instead of push into the other. Because a lot of times games can be decided on the third base instead of trying to fight on two bases. And in this case, it's pretty clear that the only location that Rain could expand to now would be this base at the bottom center at 6 o'clock.
It's got a couple pylons up. Both of them have put out beautiful scouting pylons to try to catch any incoming shuttles. A little bit of a push coming here from Stork, but again, to get over that bridge is about as impossible as anything.
Now, in this game, this time around, it doesn't look like Stork went for shuttle speed. We want to watch the shuttles, because if they're moving fast, then there's definitely the option to do more harass. And a lot of times, if you have big fights and you manage to keep the Reavers alive, which you're basically always supposed to do if you have shuttle speed, suddenly after the big fight happens and the supplies have plummeted, you can take that shuttle and fly around the map and start killing workers. It's one of the first things you want to think about doing.
Look at this. It seems like Rain was getting ready for a big flank here. He is up Army Supply a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be able to get anything done at the moment. A lot of Zealots out, which mean that legs should be just about on the way here. Now, this attack incoming, though, if Stork is in a reasonably defensive position, can he actually break him with this
I don't
army?
know if you're going to be rushing for Zealot Legs here. When you go Dragoon Reaver like this, Zealot Legs don't help you because they just blow up all the against the Scarabs. What you want is a few Zealots, and you want to try to get Storm.
Okay.
You usually want to get Storm before Zealot Legs. Now, let's see. Maybe I'm wrong this time around, but as you can see, the Zealots kind of clump up in the front, and a couple Scarab shots kill them off. But the fact that Stork is actually getting stuck on the bridge here,
so many
that's all the
units going
damage
down.
that you need to have pulled off. Whoa.
Huge amount of damage dealt to that army.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. I mean, honestly, I don't know if he's going to be able to get a third base up for a little while here. I'm surprised to see that Stork was pushed back that far.
I'm surprised that he screwed up on the bridge that hard. He lost so many extra units there. Now you can see that supply lead for Rain.
Well, this is going to allow Rain to then roam the map very easily. And even though Psionic Storm is out, and it's a problem to try to face off against it, I don't know that this is going to really matter if you can't get into a good position. From here, this is no longer a game where Rain has to try to run Stork over. Rain has to just control the map and eliminate options here for Stork. And Stork is ultimately going to be in such a deficit where Rain has grown so significantly that there's just no way to recover. And this Zealot coming up here, I love the DT, but that is buying time, not denying a base fully.
I feel like the position of Rain here is just so beautiful. He's got such a large army on the high ground. Oh, he's actually going to attack in. This guy's crazy.
Now he's going to have the first few Reaver shots here. Some Psystorms coming down.
Oh,
now,
he loses his observer there.
Man. But these Dragoons are going to be trying to hit that shuttle. It looks like it's just barely going to go down, and now the Reavers can actually target the remaining Reavers, and this is now going to be a win here for Rain.
Yeah.
Not only did he kill the Reavers, he managed to push through and do so much damage. There's not going to be any third base over there anytime soon. And again, this is just brutal, man. Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy how much stronger Rain really seemed for a lot of this. And so much of this game and the position he got himself into feels like it was that hidden probe in the main base.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's funny how it's like the butterfly effect, really, you know? By the way, now that we have the supplies dropping, this is the moment you can fly in there with the shuttle and actually try to kill off some workers there. Now even it looks like, okay, good denial with the DT right underneath that. The problem is that we have a blue wave moving across the map here from Rain. And again, there's just no realistic way that Stork is not going to be smothered with Rain's army. Wow, suddenly these Zealots are a lot more like Zerglings in this game.
Yeah, may as well just run by. So little left over here for Stork. Looks like he is going to take that first game loss.
Looks like he's going to try to peg the shuttle. But again, there's just too much.
Man.
And this means Stork is going to tap out here. There's no way for him to recover. Masterfully done here by Rain, really.
A very heavy two-base play, by the way. I thought for sure we were going to see a third base in this game when they got to such high supplies, but...
Something fishy happened when Stork tried to move out on the map. He suddenly got ushered away by the army of Rain, and then he just lost control of the map.
Yeah.
I think he had a lot better of a spot. I believe Stork didn't go for shuttle speed, which I was a little bit surprised by.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's where, even if they try to push out and hit you like that, you can run across the map into their main with your shuttle and drop them. I don't know. I don't know why that happened. It looks like Stork's going to stay in the game, but all the pieces are set in motion now for Rain.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just going to have more bases.
He's up a good chunk of supply at this point.
I'm actually worried here for Stork stamina-wise. I mean, PvP can be pretty exhausting if this is going to be a close series. And looks like he's going to try to... Oh, my God. Ouch.
Well, it didn't actually kill as much as I thought it would.
The problem is he doesn't even have that many probes there to kill.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Look at that.
Okay. He wasn't sure if there was energy in there. Okay. Well, Stork's still in the game, Artosis.
Yeah, he doesn't give up. Why would he give up?
Because it's a TV show, but... Because we're going to have a game 2 here, and there's mathematically almost no way to recover here.
If you try to attack and move over that bridge, I tell you what, that's where Stork comes right back.
If he turned his monitor off and ran around the block a couple times, that's another way.
Probably get DQ'd for getting up out of his seat.
That's right. That's another way for him to come back, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, Stork is a consummate professional with a lot of experience. He's seen people lose in a myriad of ways and mistakes.
Yes. So he's going to try to have this army crash in as the storm drop happens. Or not.
Storm drop's not going to happen. This Dragoon's there forever. He's got that observer watching for it.
He knows those shields will regenerate Artosis.
It's true.
Allowing him to take shots from that Dragoon over and over and over. By the way, Rain is very close to maxing out at this point in time. Again, he doesn't... The thing is, Rain's basically won the game, okay? But he doesn't have to close it out, because the only way you could really lose this is to try to attack in.
Yeah.
In which case you run through storms, you take a lot of damage, it's an inefficient trade. And so I guess he's going to try to wait this one out. And Stork is finally coming across the map. I believe he's got Reavers in there as well. Rain did not remake his Reavers, instead double down on gateways.
It should be noted that the army supply, I believe, for Stork is going to be similar to what Rain has. He lost a lot of probes, and Rain has 3 bases. So let's see if he can do it. That storm on the Reavers is breaking my heart that Stork is just sitting there and letting that... Just okay. Well, a lot of Zealots left over here for Stork, but not a lot of anything else. Good storm there on the Dragoons of Rain. Rain will end up cleaning this up, though.
GG. So Rain takes game 1 in an impressive game there.
Looking strong. He has a huge win percentage in PvP.
He's so good at that.
82%, I'd call it before we started.
By the way, beautifully done when he actually hit that probe in the main. The second time we've had a worker hidden there. Kind of an unusual spot to hide that, I guess.
Well, he hit it in the bottom left, which was the weird part, because it's like it seems so close. Maybe that's why, though. You hide it in plain sight. You hide it somewhere that they're like, no, there's only one little square I can't see there. There's no way there's a probe there.
We're at this point in time now in RTS, whether it's StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2, where players are so good at hiding it almost in plain sight. It would look like it's an obvious location to check because it's close to a lot of key things or key scouting paths, but because it's close and it seems counterintuitive, that's exactly where you want to put it.
Yeah. We have definitely seen a lot of that, especially in Starcraft 2 currently.
Yeah.
Where it's like you'll see all the different scout pads and it'll be just one square that's missing, and that's where it is. You know, you can really map things like that out. We actually saw Mini do that the other day too. Remember with the pylon on this map?
Yeah.
Where the the hatchery barely didn't see it, and then the Overlord flew and barely didn't see it. There was a sliver that was exactly a pylon in size.
Crazy, right?
Wild to see.
So we're going to go to game number 2 in a little bit here. I think Stork can do have a better showing here. He just needs to make sure he's hiding what's going on, because really Rain is so skilled. If he knows what direction, even 1 or 2 tech buildings, if he knows where that's going to go, then it's much easier for him to then paint a picture where he should be able to get into a lead one way or the other.
Yeah, excellent decision making from him. And, you know, Stork, I don't feel like he brought anything super special that game. He played solid. He played pretty well overall, but Rain really kind of abusing the terrain, which is something we see Rain do against a lot of Protosses. Remember that PvP on Match Point that he played where we were both completely confused the whole time?
Oh, yeah.
He was like attacking up weird ramps and running around half his army somewhere. And then eventually he just killed the Protoss, and it was like Rain is very good at these kind of wonky-looking maps, I think.
Yeah, it's funny how cleanly he can make the matchup look. So much decided in the early game as well. We're going to go to a commercial. When we come back, game number 2 in just a little bit.
먼저 보시는 저그는 김현우 선수입니다. 그리고 준우승자 테란 조기석 선수입니다.
이러면 충분히 막죠. 투베럴까지 빠르게 좀 지어놓은 상황에서
네.
지나가짜리 안 나오게 마린 한 개 또 오른쪽으로 막 이동해주면서 버텨주면 되는 겁니다.
센스 있게 자리를 잡았고 결국에 SC보다 좋은 정찰
길을 하나 열어놨어요.
이거 마린을 잡아줘야 돼. 줄여줘야 돼요.
그렇죠. 많이 줄여야 돼요.
자, SC
벙커
완성도 됐습니다. 벙커.
그렇죠.
예리하고요.
예. 김현우 선수는 어쨌든 이 빈틈을 만들기 위해서는 그렇죠. 저글링과 함께 던져주면서 털에
아주
앞마당
좋아요.
파괴시켜줘서 마린을 어쨌든 분산시켜줘야 돼요.
네.
앞마당도 지키게 하고 본진도 지키게 하다 보면 빈틈이 생길 수도 있는 거거든요.
이거는 할만할 것 같아요. 저도. 여기서 털에 하나 더 깨놓고
집요해요 김현우.
네, 이러면 드론 타이밍이 좀 좋았어서 드론 보충 타이밍이 3회 처리를 들어갈 수 있단 말이에요.
먼저
살짝
움직이죠.
놓고
먼저 칼을 빼들었습니다. 조기석.
스팀을 맞은 상태에서 메딕이 7호까지 돼 있는 상태면은 이거 됩니다. 이거 너무
자, 들어왔어요.
방심했어요.
조기석 선수. 자, 이제 앞마당 쪽으로 뮤탈리스크요.
이러면 소위 뮤탈 컨트롤 하더라도
예.
피가 커집니다.
이거 피 받았어요.
자, 앞마당 해처리도. 자, 해처리는 지키는 선에서 막아야죠. 그렇죠. 지금 싸워줘야 돼. 싸워줘야 돼요.
해처리 지켰어요.
이거 지켰네요 또.
아, 근데 이거 마린 숫자가 너무 부족해서 일단은.
그렇죠.
자,
그래도
지금 붙었어요.
마린. 근데 발키리가 뮤탈이 녹아요. 엑시드 스포 때문에 지금 발키리가 안 돼.
결국 숫자가 많이 줄었어요.
결국 본인만의 스타일이 가진 김현우가
이걸 컨트롤로 잡아낸다고요? CJ 7시에 위치한 저그입니다. 김현우 선수 5시에 빨간색 조기석 선수입니다. 불이 나게 뛰어가죠.
이거 대회에서 오버로드가 잡히는 경우는요 거의 못 보는 일인데 이거 잡혔죠.
이거 잡혀요.
23,
저그가 제일 싫어하는 장면 여러분 보셨습니다.
자, 이쪽에서 컨트롤로 이득 봐줘야 되거든요. 지금까지 봤던 소네.
야, 김현우.
와 이거
진짜.
싸움이
메딕이 3개 있는데
이게 되네요. 방업도 안 되고
머리. 야, 저 업그레이드 안 됐죠 방업이?
네, 지금 뭔가 놀라서 스팀 맞은 것 같아요.
네.
설마 마린 잡고 멀티 주기? 초필 살기? 이런 건 하면 안 되거든요.
예.
그쵸? 예, 이거 제이 멀티 주면 안 됩니다. 빨리 와야 돼요.
근데 지금 대응이
예.
저 거리가 좀 있거든요.
자,
자, 빨리 들어갑니다. 스팀팩.
이거 조기사 선수가 완전 좋죠.
너무 잘 들어갔어요.
이게 멀티 깨지지 않고 뮤탈리스크 숫자 최소한 하면서
와,
잡아야
빨라요.
되는데
잘 깨야 돼요.
너무 어려워요.
자, 지금 합치기 전에
공이랑
네, 마린
하지만 방위로
하나씩.
해철 이거 1.3이 될 것 같거든요.
네.
네? 이게 그냥
근데
다 잡겠다.
조기석 입장에는 조기석 선수 입장에는
쓸어 담고 싶죠.
이거 해처리 못하. 김현우의 뮤탈리스크 일단 좀 줄여야 된다.
그렇죠. 포스는 거의 해처리 포스니까.
그렇죠.
이거는 깨야죠.
그래도 마무리 지어야 됩니다.
마린 4개, 2개. 네, 뮤탈 2개.
자, 영혼의 싸움.
네.
드론 싸워야 돼요. 드론 다 싸워야죠.
조기석 선수 후속 병력도 오고 있거든요.
와, 이거 조기석이 이겼네요. 이 싸움은.
태그 매치.
이게.
해철이 이거 일부러 안 끼는 거예요.
네.
해처리 이거 살려는 드릴게.
네.
살려는 드릴게.
네, 뮤탈리스크 내놔 대신.
요건 쉬게 해줄게.
그렇죠. 이거 마무리가 되니까.
아니 어떻게 찍으면은 상대방이 좀 희망을 이거 계속 희망 부분하고 있어요.
와, CJ.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to the KSL. It's time to go to Game 2.
Cross game.
1.07! My favorite iteration of cross game! What a well-named map. What kind of game is it? A cross one.
Well, not cross like angry. Well, I guess it could be, but yeah. Cross game is kind of a cool map. You have a raised natural and a low ground main.
Now, you want to be careful around the kidneys on the map, as those high ground areas. Like any map, it comes with 2 kidneys in the middle of the map.
It's you know, this map, like for PvP, you do, because you do have that high ground area there. I wonder if we are going to see that rock, paper, scissors gladiator style, right? Where it's like, do I go 3 gate and try to take that ground? Do I go DT to stop the 3 gate? Do I go observer to stop the DT?
We're going to find out, Artie. Game 2 is loading up. This is Rain versus Stork in this best of 5 in the KSL. See? Just in case you're deaf, put that up there.
Great job. Stork in the bottom left and Rain in the top right. Excited to see what they're going to do. You do? Yeah. Oh, pretty interesting.
Now, we saw in the last game, so much of that came down to Rain being a sneaky guy, hiding one probe inside of Stork's main, and then seeing that it was Robo on one gate, which generally, you know, you can try to play around that. Stork didn't cancel. He had the option to, although, you know, you cancel Robo, it's not ideal. You can cancel it and then go DTs, and then in that game, Rain would have lost, but generally speaking, it's not actually.
That's true.
The wisest move.
Yeah. It's funny I remember when canceling first came like onto the scene kind of way back, like maybe 2002, 2003, a lot of Protosses started canceling what you would scout.
It's when people scouted with such purpose, they would look at exactly what the tech was. It was less about like, oh, where is your starting location? Are you expanding yet?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you could look at someone's base and just know how much they had actually played the game, because you'd get there and say, oh, he's horrible.
Yeah.
He's got a bunker next to his command center in his main.
Yeah, I
can recline my chair now and play this out.
Absolutely, I've had those types of games. Everyone has. But I had a friend back then that played Protoss who actually went on to become a very strong Warcraft 3 pro gamer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he was quite good at Starcraft, but he was very predictable in this way. Like if I scouted a Citadel, I'd make turrets for Reavers, and if I scouted a Robo, I would just lay mines for DTs, because every game he would just
going
cancel
to cancel,
and then switch. But
that's really the mind game that comes, and you know
we see that more in Starcraft 2. I don't see many cancels in Starcraft 1, to be honest.
Oh, canceling can be quite good.
It can be. I just don't see it much.
The problem is that, you know, sometimes if you overthink against a high-level player and then they just play straight up, then you end up with a problem of your own here.
Pylon! Oh, that's the sickest Pylon!
Oh my God!
My God!
What is that? 5 probes stuck in there?
It was 5. You can glitch out most of them, but damn!
Wow!
Look at that. That's some lost mining time for sure.
Now, is he going to get another one off? There's one location just below this. He's going to try to do it. Oh!
He might get that. Oh!
Oh! He let it finish.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
Now you put a gateway on the minerals! Look at him glitch the sell-out. Oh, Stork.
Now the math can get a little bit fuzzy here when you're doing Manor Pylons, but I believe that should have been worth it there for
That
Stork.
was worth it, Tasteless. You can get out if you don't think that was worth it.
Oh! The probe is going to try to go around, and he's going to try to get into the main, but good block here with the Dragoons. Now, what does Rain rush into here? Because one thing when you're doing the Manor Pylon and you're trying to interfere is sometimes you lose the probe a little bit more quickly than if you could scout with it. And looky. Rain is going to go for 3 gateways. Now, where are Stork's gateways?
I think he's going Robo, buddy.
Well, Artosis, get your cleats ready.
Yeah.
I think Rain's going to walk over Stork.
Oh, with cleats on?
Yeah, those are pointy on the bottom.
Yeah, there's the Robo. That's going to be a problem. Well,
Oh, boy.
it gives us more play in this game than DT against 3-gate, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the thing. This is what I was talking about at the beginning with PvP. Like, PvP is, I feel like, almost the most map-dependent thing for playing. Like, there's maps that are really hard for TVP, let's say, or for ZBT. But it never becomes a rock, paper, scissors, you know, where it's like, oh, this build's so powerful here, right?
Right. Well, let's see how the actual fight goes down here. Because, you know, honestly, 3 gateway Dragoon against 1 gate, it's so hard to ever come out on top. But Dragoons are funny units.
They are funny units.
Unless they're your units and they're not being controlled right, and then they're the most aggravating thing in the game. But look, he's going.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's nice.
Worst case
Here's
scenario.
what's unfortunate. Stork knows. Oh, he's even killing the cockatoo on the map.
Cockaroo!
Sorry.
You're not even a gamer! Spread the word! Tasus is literally not even a gamer.
We need to get some clickbaity YouTube stuff right there. Hold on.
That's a lot of units,
that
buddy.
cockaroo was my friend.
It's a cackaroo. Cockatoo? That's a real bird. In America, we have those.
No, they don't have those in America. Well, they have them as pets, I guess.
Yeah.
You know who else is a pet right now? Well, more like a prisoner. Stork is going to die here.
More like jail dong. Yeah, he's dead.
Okay. This is just over, man. There's an observer here just to really know how badly he's losing.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, there's not even invisible units here, and he's losing.
Well, you should
Too bad I
start
don't
moving it like you should micro it like it's a DT towards the goons and see if you can make them run away. That's what I would do, Tasteless. That's what a 500 IQ Terran would do with that observer.
Yeah.
You try to trick them.
JJ! Okay, Rain did it again. I think a lot of that came down to the Manor Pylon. He got it, he got the lead, and then Stork's like putting his water wings on, buckling his seatbelt, you know? He's like, I'm going to play super safe.
Okay.
And then Rain just YOLO'd it. He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I am going to go.
You took the risk, and the
All
risk
in.
is the right thing to do. You got to take a risk. And if
Yes.
it was DT, then Stork would have been like, oh, the easiest game of my life, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was 3-gate. And
It's-
that's one of those maps.
This is a matchup where if one player does decide to really take a risk and the other player is playing conservatively but leaning in the wrong direction, that's all it takes. You get run over, you're dead. Again, though, same idea, actually, believe it or not, as Game 1. You get the intel as much as you possibly can. Game 1, Stork is scouted because a probe was hidden. Game 2, Stork saw, and that was an impulse, by the way. He saw an opportunity to do the Manor Pylon. He did it, and in the process, gave up his probe too quickly. And even though there was a mineral advantage there for Stork, and he was, going to be able to tech up in a standard game, Rain basically went all in on this big attack, and Stork was punished for it. Stork actually expected the possibility of a DT rush, which was the only other all-in that you could actually do in that moment.
Yeah.
It did not come.
Well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And this time he lived by the sword. And Stork's head was cut off by the sword.
He's the best.
I'm the best.
He's the best.
I have a lot to say about PvP. I really love this matchup on
this
maps.
shirt is so big on him, it looks like you're wearing a muscle suit.
Oh, I know.
Artosis.
It's so funny how big
Artosis,
this is.
it's too bad that you're now 200 pounds. This is... Look at that.
It's like the shirt's too long and then
I know.
the blazer's not long enough.
Normally, when you're not here, they have a gorilla wear that blazer, but...
You be nice about no regret. Why was she... Oh, tasteless.
Oh.
Just because he's a banana head doesn't mean you can call him a gorilla.
Well, I think that we might be here. Because this is going so fast, we might be a little bit strapped on time. I think they're going to maybe make us fill for a little bit longer before we can actually hop in to game
I just
3.
always want to know, right, when it's a rock, paper, scissors like that and one guy loses, I really do want to know what the Korean commentators are talking about for so long.
It's a good question.
Like, well, would that be rock or paper or scissors? That one's rock. That one's rock. 100%. Okay?
You ever thought that just because the rock can be wrapped up in paper, I'm like, does it lose then? Isn't that like armor for the rock?
김현우 선수 보고 계십니다. 맞이하는 조기석 선수입니다.
1시 혹은 7시 지역을 압박할 수 있는 그런 전진 배럭이죠.
네.
조기석도 여기서 일꾼 몇 개라도 잡아야겠죠.
예. 툭툭 건드리면서 1군까지.
일꾼 한 개 이상은 좀 잡아줘야 됩니다.
그리고 전진팩. 예, 추가적으로 최대한 팩토리 타이밍 이거 땡겨서 이거 성크 일단은 취소시키겠다라는
그렇죠,
생각이죠.
그렇죠.
네, 하지만 드론으로 아주 잘 나왔어.
근데 파괴됐어요. 이렇게 되면
네.
자기도 있습니다.
그쵸.
자, 잃었어요. 많이
팩토리
잃었어요.
추가타가 있거든요.
예.
네. 무시하고 지나치는 것도 안 돼요.
자, 그래서
네.
어떻게 움직였으면 입구 막히고요. 운전
한 개만 들어가도 된다.
한 개 들어갔어요.
체력 40.
히드라를 지금
눌렀어요.
그렇죠.
네.
근데 이걸로 저글링으로 시간 버티다가 이거는 양 맞죠.
자, 근데 조기석 선수의 집중력이 좀 살아났습니다.
오, 오버로드. 오버로드 관리가 지금 엉망이에요. 이렇게 되면 안 됩니다.
12쪽에서 지금 오버로드 3개나 잡혔거든요.
자, 드랍십.
이거
이거
좋아요.
앞마당 지역 쪽에 떨어지게 되면은 약간 저 김현우 선수 입장에서는 이거 한 군데도 막을 수가 없을 것 같은데요.
흔들려요.
게임을
흔들립니다.
끝낼만한 드랍십이죠. 어차피 끝난다.
그리고 지금의 병력 조합이 너무 좋거든요.
네, 신개념으로 하는 거예요. 상대방 입구에다가 커맨드 주는 것처럼.
네.
신개념 수비. 근데 그래도 이거 일단 멀티는 깨지고요. 디파일러가 없으면은 병력 숫자로 아예 압도당하고 있어서 안 돼요.
그렇죠. 준비할 시간이 부족했고 시스템까지 다 자리를 잡았습니다.
네. 이 다음이 있어야 되는데 다크솜 없이는 이거 힘들거든요.
네, 이 지역에 사실 뭐 병력이 있다 하더라도 지형 자체가 지금 너무 조기석 선수가
좋아요.
웃어주는 그런 지형이죠.
규모가 다르고 병력의 조합이 다릅니다. 이거는 처리해 내기가
와.
너무 어려운데요.
디펜시브 탱크.
야.
빈틈이 단 1도 없습니다.
자, 뮤탈리스크 왔지만 전부 다 피해를 봤습니다.
네, 이러면 웃으면서 게임하고 있을 만한 조기석 선수죠.
네, 이번엔 단단하게 경기에 임했는데 취재. 보시는 진영은요, 김현우 선수입니다. 한발 앞서 나가고 있는 조기석 선수입니다. 지금 뭐 팩이 너무 좋습니다.
네. 오. 마린 계속 잘라주고요.
그러니까 조기석 선수는 이거 수비하면서도 그러니까 결국 김현우 선수가 그 싸우고 싶어하는 그 전장, 그 지형 선택을 그러니까 끌려 들어가면 안 돼요.
예.
뮤타를 상대로 해서
한 놈팔이요.
예. 여기서 순간 방심할 때
와.
마린을 끌어주는 플레이는
예.
어디 가서 절대로 꿀리지 않습니다.
예.
거의 두 부대였는데 지금 한 4는 줄었거든요.
와.
많이 줄었어요.
와.
뮤컨? 와.
이거 눈 하나 감으면 안 됩니다.
야, 진짜 잘하네요.
와.
이러면
이게
털에
자, 그럼
넣을게요.
저글링.
이러면서 털의 쪽으로 올라가면 너 일로 와 하면서 마린 끌어주고
하나 더, 하나 더 끌어줘. 야, 김현우 너무 잘하는데요.
끊기
자, 많이 흔들려요, 조기석 이제.
거의 적이 대적 하는 것처럼 하고 있어요.
그렇죠.
예, 일단 레이스를 그러니까 베스는 이미 좀 늦었다라고 판단을 하고 한 개의 스타포드에서는 일단 레이스를 생각을 하는 건데 이거 앞마당 좀
와, 지금
초토한데요.
위에 문 다 열렸잖아요.
뭔가 이러면서 그냥 울트라 K번 쥐은 다음에 그냥 방어 울트라 해도 될 것 같은 그 정도의 상황으로
예.
치닫고 있는데 마린이 많이 끊겼기 때문에
네,
일단
취재.
Welcome back to KSL. Circuit Breakers is going to be our map for game number 3. And guys, give Stork your energy. He is getting crushed right now. Rain is schooling him in PvP.
Yeah, Overwatch was okay, but I mean, that last game was a rock, paper, scissors, and he lost.
Again, I'm saying it, man. Rock, paper, scissors. How is the rock losing? Paper goes around it. Rock armor?
It suffocates.
Yeah.
You literally don't even know anything about rock
Oh,
biology.
yeah, like you even know how long a rock can hold its breath for.
Tasteless. I know a lot about rocks. I'm a rock geologist.
My dad was a geologist.
My dad's a geologist.
Guys, on this map, it's a 4-player map. That makes it kind of tricky for PvP because sometimes you just don't get the scout off at all. You don't get there in time. You don't find out what you need to know. I think there's a higher chance in general that we have, if the scouting does get off, just more straight-up Reaver tech.
Okay.
But let's see here. What do I know? What does Stork know? It's all about rain right now. This is the rain show.
Oh.
It's true, man. Look at that cutout artists. They're not real. They're all drawings. That's an animation. All right, guys, we're going into this. Oh, we're already here. Okay, Rain versus Stork game 3 is up. We've got Rain in the top left, Stork in the bottom left.
All right. What do you suggest to Stork to beat Rain?
I don't know. I think at this point in time, he just needs to keep his probe alive for as long as possible and then try to play either a direct counter to the information that Rain lacks or a direct response to the intel that Stork got on Rain. Does that
But
make
what
sense?
if he scouts in the wrong direction?
All in? DT rush?
DT rush?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean it too. I mean,
Oh, I know you mean
Rain,
it.
Rain is definitely comfortable just not getting a detection.
Yeah.
If he feels like there's any ambiguity, he does seem to really like Dragoon pressure builds.
I want to see the robo cancel from Stork.
Yeah.
Let him scout your robo.
Well, you never really want to let them scout anything in PvP. If they get the scout off, then you want to try to kill that and then
Well,
opt to cancel.
you don't just move. It's not like the probe's the bombing ramp and you move your Dragoon and you like dance it to show that it's not going to fire and then the probe
And then you
walks
pause the game and type in WTF. My cat is walking on my keyboard.
BRB.
Yeah. Hold on, I got to answer the door. My mom's getting a package delivered.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a probe headed to the north here for Stork. So Stork's going to get a very fortunate scout, but it looks like Rain's also going to go right through the bottom. Probe high five, click.
Is that the sound it makes when they high five?
They're
Click?
robots. They make clicky sounds. They don't have fleshy palms where they clap.
Well, I think you're right. I think they don't have fleshy palms.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it could be inside. Like they each have one fleshy arm inside of them. I don't know how they would
It's just
make
this gross
that, though.
chicken wing thing growing inside.
The little door opens up and the little fleshy thing
And it's got all these nerves on it. It
High
can feel.
five.
It triggers the probe's brain. It's like, no.
This is how you make probes actually fight zerglings: is you twist their little chicken arm. Because they don't want to fight zerglings.
No, man.
That never
They
goes
don't.
well.
Yeah. Okay, the cybernetic score is done. Rain once again going to go for the Zealot here. I don't think we're going to have any man or pylon from Stork. And once more, Stork is just skipping the Zealot.
Yeah. He doesn't want it. Zealots are stupid. Why does Broodling work on Dragoons but Irradiate does not?
I think the idea is that there's something biological inside, the same way it is with a tank. Not when the tank driver dies from the broodling and the tank explodes, it's a bit much. I'll go that far. I'm like, okay, this is a bit excessive.
Maybe the Broodlings should be able to drive the tank for a little
Exactly,
bit.
yeah.
Until they run out of time.
Just fire randomly.
And then there's just an empty tank and you have to send a Marine over to it.
It becomes a doodad and you can't build on it or move it.
The ultimate
Yeah.
changing of the map.
Is that a Artosis?
Rain.
Can I put it where your water bottle is? You're completely. Is that a Citadel? Okay, it is a Citadel there. Oh, now you're going to cover up the screen even more with your water bottles. Terrible. So it's Robo here for Stork.
Okay. We got
And
Stork with the
Rain
advantage.
going for the Invisibles.
Unless this is just for quick zealot leg.
You know what's funny is
Surprise.
sometimes people still do that online.
Really?
You'll just have someone just attack with 3-gate Zealot. You're sitting there at the top of your ramp with Dragoons firing down. Like, what games does this work
like with
in?
speed?
Yeah. It's like a terrible strategy that sometimes people
You must
do.
be connected to the NA server. Be hitting something like that.
Yeah.
God.
At very low levels. It's always been something that's popped up at very low levels, Artosis, where you just look at it and you go, huh. It's the one thing I wasn't thinking of, but I guess technically you could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the. Oh, hold on. He's going to try to chase him away. Now, just because one guy's going observers and the other's going for DTs, it does not mean the DT player loses. It means the DT will not just straight up kill the. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Maybe the DT will.
Wow. So there is a specific build that you can do in PvP that Stork's doing where you're going to go for 2-gate Dragoon Reaver with a push. There's no observers. You could have gotten observers, but you didn't. You played around it. You skipped it. And, I mean, you can try to make an observer as you see the DT coming, but this is sad. Rain going for an older build that's still solid. 1-gate DT with a cannon into a Nexus, into a second DT. The first DT goes in to try to kill workers. If that doesn't work, the second DT is used to try to run inside the main if the other player attacks. From there, I believe you try to rush into Storm and just have enough to hold off. It's like Storm and Dragoon range. You're trying to just hold off everything. Mm-hmm. Now, keep in mind that Rain doesn't know that Stork's not DT rushing him. That's why you have the cannon for that. Okay, now he gets an observatory later, but...
Well, you can always clog your ramp, and then the DT will kill some goons, but you will live.
Now, he should have the math on this perfectly timed out. Oh, my God.
Oh, my
God.
That couldn't have been worse. He ran in the opposite direction that he needed to.
Oh, my God. Misclick there. Okay, now he's going to try to use the Reaver to target down.
This is only giving the DT more kills. Good glitching, but
yeah, great.
It's a lot of kills already. There's 7 probes already dead from this.
A lot of lost mining time, too. Ugh.
Oh, he popped him in the back. Look at that. That's hilarious.
Now you can hide behind the mini-map. We'll just never see this unit here.
There we go.
Oh, nice. Pro observing there.
Yeah.
Because to show you we got the best here at the KSL. So, now he's going to try and do a counter push, I believe. But look, that second DT's already slipped in. And this is the thing. The second DT is the deadly one.
I thought the first one was because it got so many kills.
No, it's the second one that actually makes the push not possible. Cannons are finishing. Storm is wrapping up. Another Templar's coming out. And the thing is, from here, you just want to keep running. You're just trying to buy time.
Well, he has certainly bought a lot of time with this already.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he's circling back for more kills.
Oh, my God. He got so many more kills there.
How many probes are even left? Oh, my God. Look at all the cannons.
And
okay, notice how Reaver outranges those.
It's only a matter of time. So the cannons are basically here. Note how he's spacing them, by the way, guys. He wants each Reaver to have to fire a Scarab at an individual cannon. He doesn't want to have stacked damage here. Now, you can try to drop the main and kill the workers there.
He has a lot of units.
Easier said than done. There's going to be Dragoons at the ramp. That's the first line of defense. They'll fall back if they see there's no shuttle to try to shoot at.
It's so funny how many cannons there are.
Yeah.
Rain is such a newbie.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so here comes the first Storm. Note how he's targeting. Okay, folks.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He already got one of the Reavers.
Oh,
and the other one's just walking into cannons.
Looks like Slug Boys aren't so good after all. All right. Guys, pack your bags.
Rain's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, now we're going to watch these Dragoons die. Yeah, this is just it, man. I mean, Rain is so good at the early game, really.
So good at every portion of the game.
He's just so solid, GG. Really impressive stuff here. Rain has got the best early game PvP I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty
He knows how to, I mean, you can see it's not even random. He really does get a good read on what's the right sneaky build to do, and then he executes it with such perfection.
That was well done. The second DT coming in, I didn't even see how that got in there, but beautifully done. The spacing of the cannons, the speed with which he sacrifices Dragoons to kill the shuttle so that the Reavers couldn't dodge Psystorms, and then two perfectly placed Psystorms just instantly punished and destroyed every single thing Stork did throughout the series.
Yeah. Had there not been the DT coming in there, or maybe the Scarab had killed the DT off earlier, maybe there's a chance he wins still with a push. I mean, what you're trying to do is get so many cannons up and so much storm up that it just takes too long for that army to ever hold that off. Behind that, you're getting gateways, you're getting more defense. Yeah, I mean, you basically can win from there. Again, that second DT in the rush if the first one doesn't get in there and do any damage, then you hide that one outside the base. But when he saw that was getting kills and he knows, okay, the observer has to get over there as quickly as possible, and the DT was pulled into the it was actually covered by the minimap. It was in the bottom left. That's when you can sneak the second DT in.
It's too bad. His goons moved forward at the exact second the DT came. If
Yeah.
they hadn't moved forward at that second, if they just stayed and he had reacted with the same speed to the DT that he did after they had moved forward, he would have clogged the ramp and not lost probes, which is incredibly important. You saw that even when everything went wrong with the bush, he was still like killing cannons off.
Yeah.
Imagine if he hadn't lost all of his probes, he hit a quicker timing, all these different things. It's a big deal.
Yeah, this is our 4th 3-0 in a row for you and me casting. This is kind of crazy.
You're bad luck.
I'm
You
very
make the
bad
games
luck.
bad.
I wished good games on a cursed monkey's paw. Now I'm paying for it, Artosis.
You make the games bad. It's too bad.
This is-
No
this
regret
is-
in Rapid when
I
do
know.
this.
They are definitely luckier than us. We've had such one-sided games here. Of course, by the way, we're going to be back here doing more KSL on Thursday. It's every Thursday and Friday, 7 p.m. KST. And actually coming up here this week, we're also going to be having GSL Code S, Starcraft 2, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. KST, as well as Saturday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, we got 4 days of GSL and 2 days of KSL for the next 2 weeks.
We're going to be busy.
Yeah.
You can't get more lopsided than that. 3-0 Last versus Jaedong, 3-0 Rain versus Stork.
Yeah, which means the next time we visit this group will be very exciting as well. Jaedong versus Stork. I think probably a slightly more even match than what we saw here tonight.
Oh, really?
Last versus Rain. Well, that's just becoming the future rivalry. Like these two playing each other is turning very quickly into something similar to Jaedong versus Flash, where it's like, okay, these guys are at the very top, and they just keep hitting each other.
It's the new guys, man.
The
New kids on the block. So here's Group A. This is going to be on Thursday. As you can see, on May 2nd, Best versus Modesty, and Queen versus Sharp.
Ooh, very good matches. Best looking really great lately, and Modesty, one of these up-and-coming Zergs for quite some time. Zero, a.k.a. Queen, out of the military. I think he is unbelievably strong right now, and he's going up against the finalist from last season in Sharp.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous here that Sharp I don't have as much faith in this matchup.
How dare you?
In TVZ. If Zero gets rid of Sharp this early in the tournament, the thing is I don't think 4GG's going to have his group. Ample? I don't know. We'll see. But we might lose one of our strongest Terrans in the world on Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully not. And hopefully the games are a little bit longer. Again, we've had just such short days here so far in the KSL. But definitely, anyways, join us for all of next week. It's going to be nonstop StarCraft action, basically every evening and midday on the weekend. You're going to be able to join us here as we get a lot of StarCraft 2 in. One of our busiest 2 weeks of the year.
Indeed.
Right? The busiest 2
One
weeks.
of our busiest 2 weeks.
I know. As it came out, I'm like, I don't have it anymore.
No.
I'm not.
It's all
I'm
over.
not
It's okay.
anymore.
But at what cost?
At what cost, Martos? At what cost, indeed. Guys, thank you for joining us. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to really add to that. So
Yeah.
it's been great. Make sure that you watch GSL on Monday.
Yeah, we've got the weekend off. Hopefully these games are educational for you. Hopefully we can see Jaedong play a little bit better down the road. And hopefully one day Stork can manage to have his comeback. Because right now it's Rain and Last, who have been playing StarCraft for a long time, but they were not the legends of the past. We're definitely in an era now where these players are the ones who are really on top, and it's the old players, the old gods, who are trying to come back and reassert themselves.
Yeah. And, you know, we still might have some of that because someone out of Jaedong and Stork will be going to that final match.
Sure, yeah.
And anything can happen at that point. So, I guess that's it.
Is
Bye.
it, though? We can't close it out until the Korean commentators close it out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, these were, it's good to be back casting some StarCraft 1. It's
Yeah.
good to be here again.
Yeah,
You know?
I like it. It's the best job in the entire world.
It is.
Yeah. So what do you got planned for this weekend, Tasis?
Hang out.
Yeah.
Not much. Yeah.
Cool.
Probably do a little bit more cleaning in the house, throw out some stuff.
That's good. Yeah.
What about you?
It is my twins' birthday tomorrow.
Happy
So
birthday.
I'll be doing
Happy
that.
birthday, twins.
Thank you.
Did they say we can close it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Should
we
I
try?
don't close anything until
Should
the
we
music.
try?
No, if you try, it goes wrong.
Should we just wait and keep going?
Oh, just keep going.
Let's see how long we can make this
for the
broadcast
rest
go
of
for.
time. We're gonna make it go as if we had 10 games instead of 6.
Let's just tell them to queue up another game. They're pushing pros back into the seats. They're trying. We're plugging their keyboards and mice back in. The guy's like, "I've lost. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Why are we still on air? Should we try to close it, Artosis?
No. Okay. Now
Hear
there's
that
music.
song?
Do it.
It's time to go. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. We will see you again on Thursday. Do join us for the GSL Code S on Monday. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.